Welcome to this week's video. This week is exciting. Well, last week's was more exciting. We pulled this thing out. But this week is the week where we put all the new parts onto it. We're putting on a new clutch, new motor mounts, new transmission mounts, and the main reason for this engine coming out of here, a new rear main seal. This thing would leak about a quart of oil every 100 miles. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I think I'm gonna start with the easy stuff, which is the motor mount. This engine has two. They're located right here and on the other side, and we're just gonna unbolt them. It looks like two bolts and pop them off. One of them was much easier to remove this way, and the other one is actually still in the car, and I'm gonna leave them that way because that's how I removed the engine, and that should make it easier to replace it. Oh wow, I cannot wait to tell you how thrashed these motor mounts are. That is bad. How is the other one? That one's a little better, but that one right there is really bad. So this here is our passenger motor mount, and as you can see, it is covered in grease, and as I mentioned last week, at least that made the bolts easy to get off. But the main issue here is just look at this. It just comes apart. Obviously not completely due to this little safety mechanism, but I mean, geez, that's awful. That's gonna help a lot. I was noticing a clunking under deceleration, and I'm pretty sure this might be the culprit. Oh, that's awful. Let's get the new one thrown in. Here's our new one. See, no separation. This thing is gonna feel like a whole new vehicle. Well, I don't know about that, but it's gonna be nice. So yeah, this motor mount's in a lot better shape, though it is kind of starting to fail in the same way as the other one. I've made a mistake. I did not pay enough attention to when I removed this thing. Wait, I can see there's markings that match there. So it definitely went on. Yeah, it went on this way, which means this one also goes on this way. The reason I'm hesitating here is because this has a pin that's supposed to match up with the pin on this thing. However, the pin on the new mount seems to be too large, so when you press them together, there's a little gap in between them that wasn't there with the old one because the pin was smaller and it actually fit through the hole. Since I know how it goes, I think I am just going to go grind it off at the grinder. Nothing to remind you you're working on an old car with bad aftermarket part support like modifying your brand new parts. Alright, those were the two easiest things. Now for the small task of getting the clutch out of here. I have actually done a clutch job before on my 2003 Acura RSX Type S. In that one you have to drop the whole subframe and then the transmission and then undo it all, of course. I think we need to take out all of these bolts and our pressure plate, which is what this is, should come off. Oh, jeez. Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't be touching it. I'm probably not going to put it back in, but you never know. So here's our new versus old pressure plate. This part's pretty simple. It probably almost certainly doesn't need to be replaced. And here's our new versus old clutch. The old one looks like it has, a fair bit of material on it still. It probably could have gone another quite a few 10,000 miles, but I got this one, and well, we're going to throw this one in there instead. First, I need to pull off the flywheel so we can replace the rear main seal. One thing that does slightly concern me is that the springs, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, these both have 6 springs, but the one in the new clutch, which is obviously not OEM, are different. I wonder if I can find out, does this one say what it was? Does that say PHS? PHC? Yeah, that says PHC on there. I don't think you can see it. Let's see if PHC means anything. So in my brief research there, it actually seems that the people who made this clutch are actually a quite reputable brand. This thing probably would have been fine for quite a few more miles. I might throw it on a shelf somewhere to throw it back in if this one fails for some reason. Or if this one doesn't fit for some reason, we might just put it back in. I think this should just pop off now. Oh, there we go. Y'all, that is a heavy flywheel. I did think about trying to search for a lightweight flywheel, which just can make the engine feel a little more peppy and that sort of thing, but that would come at the cost of off-road performance in this case. Usually I'm all for a better, lighter flywheel, but not in this case. And if you do look at this rear main seal here, that's the part we gotta get out. That thing is leaking like a sieve. Look at all this gunk that's built up in here. Wow. Now I need to look up how to get this thing out of the car. Well, it's out of the car. Now I need to look up how to get it out of the engine. So what I actually did is I did buy 2 rear main seals because I was reading and people do mess this up and ruin the rear main seal. So if I mess up, we are covered. They were only like 25 bucks or maybe even 20, so it wasn't too bad. I should probably look up if I need to drain the oil before we do this. I've never done an oil change on this car because it leaked so much that I figured it changed itself in a certain amount of time. Okay, so according to some research, you don't need to drain the oil. I want to take note of how this is. It's almost perfectly flush at the top, and then down at the bottom, it's inset a little too far. I do almost wonder if that could be part of the issue. Maybe this has been tried to be repaired before, because it is definitely further in down here than it is up here. And while that video did provide exactly the steps that I need to do, so I'm gonna try my best to do those. And essentially, you drill a small drill bit into one part of the seal. You then drill a screw into the seal, being very careful not to touch any of the metal while you do that, and then you use a claw hammer to pry it out. Let's see how it goes. It just wants to creep to the side. Okay, we've got our hole. All right, we got our screw in there. And that came out no problem. And it looks like I was even successful in not hitting any of the metal parts with my screw. Getting there. We're almost there. I don't want to push it in too far because that can cause the drain to plug, which forces the oil out of the new rear main seal. Pretty much good up on this corner. I just need to get this bottom part in a little further. That's pretty good. Now it's just this part here. Man, that is so close. I think I'm just going to tap it a few more times down on this corner. Oh, I got it too far. This might be the case where I need to use that other one, since this one's in a little too far now. Now I have turned this brand new rear main seal into garbage, unfortunately.
I feel weak, I feel weird, just like I'm not even real.
All right, I don't want to put it in too far, so we are going to switch to the extension method.
A gray old house on the edge from
That's making dents in my block. That seemed like a good idea, but I don't know, man.
I'm stuck in a tree.
I just can't quite tell if it's as flush as it needs to be. It feels pretty flush to me, but also it feels like it could just go a smidge further. See, I just don't like that because it is putting indents into the block itself. But like, I'm not making any progress here. And if I make progress, it's always risky that I go too far. I might be happy with that. So I did notice other people marking which orientation the flywheel was installed in. I did not do that. I'm gonna look up and see if it's important, and if it is, then I'll check the footage. Doesn't seem to be a huge deal, so... Oh, it'll only go on one way, okay. That's smart. Now I need to go find the torque specs for those. Flywheel, drive plate to crankshaft bolts, 51 to 55 foot-pounds. So we'll start at 51. Need like a screwdriver or something to hold the flywheel still. Maybe if I just set the engine down, that would be enough to keep it still. Ooh, that's what I was afraid of. I don't know which one I was on either. I'm gonna go get Leah to help me. So what you need to do is stand here and lodge this in between one of the teeth and that little nub, and then you're gonna have to push in so it doesn't slip out, and it's also gonna it's gonna be rotating that way, so it's gonna try and put your hand up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that was 51. We gotta do one more to 55. 2. Okay, thank you. Definitely should clean this. Oh, probably not with my Fresca can right there. Well, I couldn't find the torque specs for these 6 bolts here, so I'm gonna go with a fairly arbitrary 30 foot-pounds. That feels like it's getting way too tight. Oh, this person says the pressure plate is 12 foot-pounds. I'm probably way over, but that's just what someone says, so who knows if that's accurate. All right, well, that's all that we're actually gonna be doing to the engine before we put it back in. There is one more piece that came with this kit, the throwout bearing, and I believe I saw it in there, so let's go take care of that. So this right here, I believe, is the throwout bearing, and this is what you push on. When you push on the clutch, you push that out, and that disengages the clutch. So yeah, there's our old one all greasy and oily from the oil leak. Nice shiny new one. These little clips that held in the old one aren't really holding in the new one. Oh, look at that. They actually included replacement springs. That's really nice. So it looks like when I took mine out, I just bent mine a little bit so they aren't quite as tight. So let's throw on these brand new springs and see if that works. There, that's much tighter on there. Perfect. All right, so the last two things we have are the transmission mounts. I don't really know how easy that's gonna be. I don't know that removing the engine made that any easier, to be honest. I think you can actually see the trans mounts from here. They are right down there on either side of the transmission. The transmission mounts are much smaller than the engine mounts. Oh wow, actually and a lot more pliable. Look at that, these ones are brand new and look at all that motion. I think these might be the wrong ones. Hey, if this is what I got wrong and I got everything else right, I'll be pretty happy. Yeah, because those just do not match up with what's shown in there. What's shown in there goes like this. That looks a lot more like what we need. So I'm gonna have to see if I can return these. Otherwise, I'm probably out like 40 to 60 bucks. And because that's all the parts we have to put on this thing before it goes back into the car, I guess that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. It was a bit of a short one. Subscribe if you wanna see me throw this engine back in here, see if I'm successful. That is still up in the air. Joel from the future here. Actually, next week's video should be me putting this thing back in here. So like I said, subscribe if you wanna see that. I obviously haven't started on it, so the plan is to put it in tomorrow, but I guess I'll see where I get to. Cut back to outro Joel. Like the video if you liked seeing me put some new parts on this old tired Subaru engine, and leave comments down below if you have any questions. All the photos that I took during this process are available in the description, and if there's anything that I didn't answer here, any specific questions you have, something you're stuck on if you're doing this yourself, then leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to get to them. That's all I've got. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully see you next week. And this is the behind the scenes bit where I come back and get the camera because I need to edit the video.